All right, look what Behringer just copied. Check this out.
The effect compressor does what it's famous for, and that's its ability to snap onto these transients really quickly. If you're looking for the unmistakable valve warmth on your recordings, a tool that delivers all from smooth to aggressive, then this might just be what you've been looking for.
All right, so I think they got a guy with a British accent to make it seem more classy, but Behringer just copied Universal Audio 6176. So let's take a quick look at the Behringer 676.
From the mind of Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov.
Universal Audio must be soiling their underpants right now because the Behringer 676 is pretty much identical to the Universal Audio 6176. And I know that there are people on the forums lighting their hair on fire, yelling about how the lawyers are going to get involved, et cetera, all the same bullshit, right? Talking about patent infringement or trade dress or other things that they don't really fully understand, but it's very entertaining. But the truth is that what you have here, right, is basically a direct copy of the Universal Audio 6176. But the patents on the elements involved, right? I mean, you can't patent the item, the 6176, as its own technology. It's not its own technology. It's a marriage of the 610 preamp, which debuted, I believe, in the 60s, right? Bill Putnam put it in his console in the 60s. It's an extremely simple tube preamp circuit. It's very simple. There's not much going on. So, it's a very basic tube circuit. And the 1176 debuted in the late 60s, I believe, before I was even born. So, I mean, these are two pieces of technology that are about almost like 60 years old. One's 60 and one's almost 70 years old, right? So, no, one's 60 and one's like in the mid-50s. So, yeah, they're eligible for their ARP card. And what you have here, right, the marriage of the two does not create anything newly patentable. So the patents have expired. There's no trade dress on this because there's no signature look to it. It's not like the Coca-Cola bottle, right? I mean, it looks like a pretty generic piece of hardware. I mean, if you go look on eBay and look up like old military hardware for sale, like it looks all the same as this. So yeah, Behringer, nobody's suing Behringer. So this is their 676. And right away, before we even go into the video more, let's talk about the price. So the Universal Audio 6176, right? This thing, any guesses how much the 6176 retails for? Any guesses? Here we go. Check this out. $34.99. Here, hold on. Let me bring this down a little bit. $34.99. $34.99. I can say it again. But yeah, $3,500 before tax. Okay, any guesses how much the Behringer 676 is retailing for? Any guesses? $619 in the US. And that's the thing, that is the US price with the tariff added onto it. Because the world price, the world suggested retail price is $499. So somewhere between like 6 and 7 times cheaper is this Behringer 676. So yeah, I'm lightly intrigued. I am very lightly intrigued. So let's take a look at this 676 here. Let me bring this down a little more. Let's watch a little bit more of the video. Let's see what we got here.
Compressor combo is built around two of legendary audio engineer Bill Putnam's designs from the late 60s. Both were central to capturing sounds of iconic artists like Frank Sinatra.
Okay, this always, right? This is such marketing bullshit, right? The sound of Frank Sinatra. Who else?
The Beach Boys and Van Halen.
Beach Boys and Van Halen, right? 3 gigantic icons. This is their sound. Their sound comes from them. Eddie Van Halen's sound comes from his fingers. Frank Sinatra's sound comes from his throat, from just his talent. You know? It's not like Frank Sinatra only ever recorded on a 610. It's not like Van Halen only ever recorded on a 610. I mean, so really, is this kind of thing just kind of makes me nuts. Oh wait, hold on.
A 610 style tube mic preamp and an 1176 FET compressor. Peeking inside the 676 reveals that both the 610 and
Okay, here we go. This is a good shot. Now, what you can see here, right? I mean, there's some electrolytic capacitors here. You can see some film caps here, these yellow ones over here. Not really seeing a lot of surface mount stuff. There might be down here, right? Down here, like in the lower part of the screen here. Can I point to it? Like stuff that's right here. I don't know. I think I see some surface mount stuff in there. But I mean, again, the chassis of this thing is mostly empty. It's all for looks. They could have put it in a one rack unit.
And 1176 circuits have their own input and output transformers. Again, that allows you to use Putnam's classic tube preamp and the 1176 FET compressor.
Okay, and they're using their Midas transformers. And I don't know if I have a problem with that because Midas is known for their transformers, right? They're known for their sound, their console sound. Midas owned by Behringer, so.
Completely independently. And if you use them combined into a channel, your signal runs through 4...
Okay, look at that. So just above the, right here, just above the transformer here, you have this, you have a surface mount part. C14 here is surface mount. So there is definitely some surface
sounding, custom wound Midas transformers. In the preamp section, you'll find a classic set of premium tubes. These tubes are carefully selected to add rich harmonic warmth and lift.
All right, I think that's bullshit, right? They're probably not using the cheapest tubes, but I think you could probably, that's the thing. I think you could retube this thing. What are 2, 3 tubes in this thing? You could, all right, so hear me out for a second. I know we're only like 2 minutes in the video, but hear me out. What would this thing sound like if you put new tubes in it? If you went and got really good vintage tubes, like, if you went and you contacted Christian Whitmore, aka Bowie, right? Who is the tube genius of all tube geniuses. What if you went to Bowie and you got some like really kick-ass vintage tubes? Would it make a difference? Would it make it would it make it good? And I'm just assuming that it's not good, which I shouldn't. I mean, I haven't heard it. I don't want to be that much of a snob, but I mean, the Behringer name does not inspire confidence. But that could change. That could change.
On the front panel, let's start with the 610 tube preamp. You'll find an input gain trim with a plus or minus 10 dB range and an output level control.
All right, so again, it's all the same as the 6176. We don't have to. You can watch the video yourself. Here, let's see what we got down here.
This boasts an ultra-fast attack time, adjustable from 20 to 800. Over to the compressor. This boasts an ultra-fast attack time, adjustable from 20 to 800 microseconds, and an adjustable release time from 50 to 1100 milliseconds, letting you craft precise dynamics.
All right, I mean, it's an 1176, right? Nothing special about it. 1176s are great on most people. And I have no doubt that it's, again, the 1176, these are not complicated circuits. It's not like you're trying to replicate some kind of real deep technology. This is primitive technology that goes before, think about how old this technology is. This technology all precedes the push-button phone. So, here we go.
Really do feel good. If you're on the road, the auto-ranging universal switch mode power supply.
All right, so we're talking about power supplies.
That gain becomes more extreme. You can actually see the intermod.
All right, so they're talking about tube distortion, blah, 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 blah. All right, and again, like sound samples on this, you could never really know, right? I mean, come on, you don't know how much they have been manipulated. There's no transparency in it. And unless you put it side by side against a 6176. Is there anything even here worth watching?
You need to know that's grabbing quite hard. So I might.
Yeah, it's grabbing quite hard, okay. Somebody's going to take that out of there and turn that into their ringtone.
Ability to grab and snap onto these transients really quickly. I've got the ratio set to 8.
All right, so there's a demo of how you use it. But overall, right, I think that the big takeaway here is that Behringer copied the 6176 channel strip from Universal Audio and is selling it for a mere fraction of the price. And is it worth? Here's the thing. I'm not going to ask the question, does it sound like the 6176? I'm not going to ask the question of why Behringer, why would you buy this? The only thing that matters is, does it sound good? Does it sound good? Does it sound good? Does it sound professional? Does it sound like something that would help you get to where you want to go? That's really the only thing I want to know. So I'm curious. And at this price point, I'm thinking like, could you take this thing and retube it, right? You pay $600 for it if you pay the U.S. price with the tariff, right? With shipping, tax, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. So let's say you're paying $650, $660, under $700 for it. And then you go and you spend a couple $100 for like really good vintage tubes. And you tube it up really nice. Would this thing just sound killer? Would it sound amazing? If you put $800, $900 into the whole thing with new tubes, would it kick ass? That's what I want to know, and hopefully somebody will humor me and do this experiment down the line. But again, I just think it's funny that they copied this thing and they just said to Universal Audio, yeah, hey, whatever. I think it's great. Again, I don't know if there's any. No, I'm not going to watch this commercial. Are you kidding me? Look at this guy. Look at this clown in his shirt. And this guy, what is this guy selling me? Real estate?
Apartment building. I'm serious.
Oh no, this guy's selling me like how to sell real estate. Oh yeah, here we go. It's like a seminar, right? And I'm guessing this guy's standing out here. This looks like, a nice beachy thing. This could be Hawaii, actually. Is that Lanai in the background? Either way, right? So he's standing in a tropical location near the beach to signify how much wealth that he has, that he can do this. Yet he only has this crappy whiteboard. So he couldn't, and this like really poorly like rendered here. You could barely even see it. Okay, so anyway, let's just let me pull something else up on the screen while we finish up. So yeah, 6176. I mean, it's and then the 676. I mean, really, they're identical, right? Is there anything different at all? No, I don't think so. Yeah, they're identical. And again, I read recently the Behringer, like late last year, opened up a brand new 5th generation factory to streamline production, to make things more affordably. So you could be the beneficiary of a affordably built Behringer 676, and who knows how this thing sounds. But I guarantee you, much like the Behringer 73, their Neve 1073 copy, people will buy this. So I don't know. Never really bought Behringer gear. I have a piece of Behringer. I have an old Behringer interface that I got for free when I bought a used mic from somebody, but that's it. So is it any good? I don't know. I just think it's entertaining watching the maelstrom happen. So, but what do you think? Are you interested? Are you even still watching this video? Are you interested in the Behringer 676? I'm mildly curious about it because I do think that maybe on some level, maybe if you retube it, it could be well worth the money. I don't know. Tell me what you think. All right, till next time. This is Mark Yoshimoto and MCOF, fading to black.